Welcome to Get Moving TV. I'm Dr. Chris Landon and serve as your host. We've already had one acting workshop lesson under our belts with Karen Carlson, really learning what it's like to be behind the lights. Now we're going to progress a little bit and really think about the actor and what an instrument is, that the actor themselves is an instrument. It's like playing the trombone or piano or guitar. You really need to know your body and your emotions and be able to draw from within yourself. So during this next segment, Karen Carlson and our students from VACE, we're going to be learning a little bit more about what it's like to be in an actor's studio. So Ventura, let's get moving.
Okay, so the actor. All right, this is probably what I'm best at doing because I'm still learning in all areas, but I know what works for me as an actor. So what I try to do in my workshops, not try, I think I do it, is I help you find what works for you as an actor. So my feeling is that, and Doc said it in his introduction, you play a piano, you learn the piano, you learn the keys, you learn the chords. You play a violin, you learn the strings, you learn that you need to know everything to be a primo player. As a dancer, as a painter, you have to learn your craft and learn your instrument. Well, as an actor, this is it. And in the workshops that I teach, rarely would I ever be sitting. I usually, especially for actors, because, and I hope that this doesn't throw you, that I'm standing, this is your instrument. And you need to know it from top to bottom. You need to know physically, emotionally. You need to know space. How much space do you fill as a human being, as a person, as just the person you are? So that now you've created a role. I know about pretty good how much space that I fill. My personality, Karen, how much I fill. But I'm playing Miss Pendergast, and she's a librarian, and she's never been married, and she's really actually very shy, and she has a hard time looking people in the eye because of things that happened in her past. And books, oh gosh, she loves books because she can just go into that book and be somebody else, somewhere else. So look what's happened. The space around me has tightened. Physically, it has tightened. That ain't me. But you cannot, as an actor, get to that place if you don't know this instrument first. Know what your capabilities are. Could I play Miss Pendergast? You bet your buttons I could, and I have. I have. Can I play? Well, there's not a lot that I couldn't play. Could I play a 5'4" little granny? No, I'm 5'9". No, I don't think, because specifically they want 5'4". So as Stella, one of our wonderful students that studied with Stella, as Stella would say, you have to know that if they're looking for Falstaff, do you know who Falstaff is in Shakespeare? We have much to learn. Falstaff is a wonderful character in Shakespeare. He's usually thought of as very jovial and fat and robust, and so if you're 6'2" and weigh 102 pounds, chances are you're not going to get Falstaff unless it's a really avant-garde production. So she says you need to know your limits as a character. Doesn't mean that you can't try for it. and bring something to it. Just chances are that if you're depending on getting that job or hoping to get that job and you don't, it's because you didn't physically fit. Probably. All right. So, as an actor, I think before you start to learn that instrument, you need to know, what is your motivation? What is it about acting what is it you hope to be as an actor or to do?
I believe that as an actor, you would want to just perform something that is beyond you, I guess, in a sense.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, that's what I like. I like that feeling.
Great. Nathan?
For being an actor, what the motivation is to try to find a way to be creative and put something different into what the director is saying, but at the same time giving them what they want, and to be able to create, being able to create what is outside of what you are.
Ah. Oh man, I wish I was doing a real workshop here tomorrow. I would love to have you guys. Vina? It's Vina, right?
Yes. I guess motivation as an actor, like what I aspire to do. I apologize, I cannot remember.
Yeah, your motivation. In other words, okay, if your motivation is to be an actor, to make a lot of money and be a big star, okay, that's a whole other ballgame. If it is to learn the art of acting and what it takes to be outside of yourself, that's a whole other game. That's the one that I know. I never went into acting to make a lot of money. And at one point, I actually my career had a little bit of a bump because I was offered a role in a series that it was described to me as, no, we have the brunette, we have the star, we need two blonde bookends. I'm not going to tell you the show, but if you're so young, you probably couldn't guess it. But because I said, my gosh, no, I don't want to be a blonde bookend. I don't want to worry about where every hair is on my head. That's not what my heart can't do that. I can't get those words out of my mouth. So I turned it down. And unfortunately, the producer was, he's no longer alive, but at the time he was one of the main producers in town, had something like 7 or 8 hit shows on television, and you didn't say no to him. So I didn't become totally blacklisted, but I had to go back to stage for a while. I also took work in independent film. I worked my way until my talent could not be denied because I was good. I was good at what I did. And a producer or a director who had either worked with me or wanted to work with me, excuse me, they knew they could get the performance that they needed in the amount of time that they had, and they weren't going to have to worry about not bringing in the butter, so to speak. All right? There's a blog site that my son has built for me. And I'm not interested in promoting myself. That's not what it's about. What it was about, the reason we did it, he wanted to do it, was because I do keep getting asked to teach classes because the people I studied with, the masters that I studied with, are all gone. There is a class called masters.com, and right now, as actors, you can go online and you can take that. There are only 2 actors that are on it at this point. Dustin Hoffman, that's no mincemeat, and Kevin Spacey. They're the only 2 actors at this point. But for $90, I think it's $90. You can take this class and see what it takes to get inside an actor's head of that caliber. I mean, they're both, my gosh, icons, sort of. So the thing is that what I do teach, not a lot of people do anymore. And so I keep getting asked. And the thing is that I want to pass on skills that I've learned. Anything that I happen to know that I can pass on, it's a gift to be able to give it. It's a gift to me. So it's very easy. It's KarenCarlson.org. If you go, there's a whole introduction. It's called the 7 Essential Acting Exercises, which I was going to go through today, but we do not have enough time to go through all of them. But if you go to that site, and then when you go to the site, look under, because you know it's like home, about, contact, under the thing that says shop, there is another one and there's a whole list of things. There's one at the bottom that says, thank you, your free download. And that free download is this. And what it does is, I printed it out last night just so that you could see. It's not, I mean, it's not that much, but it's basically taking 7 things and giving you insight on, for instance, how to, you've got to watch movies, guys. You've got to watch as many movies as you can. Good movies, quality movies. Know the classics. Know, there are some wonderful films now, wonderful. But I'm not as interested in the, how do I say it? Film is it's a reflection of what's going on in our society. We all know that. And right now there is just so much darkness and brutality. And some of the films that, even if they're brutal, but I learn about either what our nation did, what our men did, the sniper movie. My gosh, you know, hard as heck. I've never been able to sit through Schindler's List. I can only make it about 5-6 minutes into the film. I can't do it. It emotionally, I am so in touch with my emotions, what I believe, and who I am at this point. And that's one of the nice things. The older you get and the more you work on your instrument, the more comfortable you are that, hey, this is it. What you see is what you get. Priorities, you know. Young, you're still to learn. You're still to learn. I would love to know things that you've experienced in your life. Filipinan? Yes?
Yes, I'm Filipina.
What a beautiful race. Really, and so much we could learn from. I'm studying, right now I'm studying the Lakota and the Arapaho, especially the Arapaho, for the script that I'm working on. So I'm trying to find the Arapaho language. It's going to be hard as heck for my actor, unless they are 100% Arapaho, to be able to speak what I have found and written. As an actor today, you cannot know just one language. And I'm not saying you have to know Arapaho, but you need to know French, you need to know, because film is international. It is a huge international. All right. One of the things that I talk about is how you have to be willing to remove the mask. We all walk around with certain masks to protect us. No one wants to be rejected. Everybody wants to feel that I have value. So in order to be accepted, and because maybe our background or things that happened weren't so great, we put on these masks that make us acceptable to someone. But as an actor, you have to learn to be able to peel those masks off. So I do all kinds of exercises to help you be comfortable with who you are. Then I would suggest finding a mentor or a teacher. Study, 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 study everything. Oh my gosh, that whole world out there is one big teacher. For instance, body language. And let's say you're working on a character, and you see someone just doing something that seems so bizarre because it's bizarre to you, something you would do, but for them it's perfectly natural. And I'm trying elevators. You get in a closed-in elevator, and what happens? Okay, in our society, we shouldn't touch, so you don't touch. You don't look at the person. You surely don't smile at them or say hello. You just either look at the numbers like an idiot, or you look at the phone, which probably doesn't work real good in the elevator, or you just stand. What is that? What is that? It's conditioning. It's conditioning. Those are social conditioning that have been put. So what you need to do as a person, as an actor, is find things that are outside of your comfort zone. So you get on that elevator, and there are 3 or 4 people on there, and normally you would get on, and you would just stand, and you would wait for it to get up to your floor. Turn around and say hello. Ask a question. Put your hand out, say, my name's, who are you? Their reactions are gonna be priceless. Record that in your brain because you can use it somewhere in your work. There's nothing you can't use in your work. If you're standing in the grocery store in line to check out, if they're doing their job in the store that I go to, they have to smile at you. They have to say, how are you today? It's great to see you. Doesn't matter that their leg is hurting so bad they can hardly stand there, and they're standing on concrete, and they went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they got a call and they had to be at work at 6:30 in the morning, and they forgot their glasses. They need their glasses. They can't really see the figures. Maybe that's not a jillion things that are going on. And you haven't a clue, but if you watch and observe them, you can make up a whole story in your head. You'll find it on my blog, because I found it. I take the train, which you guys know, back and forth. I was on coach coming out here. And going back, I will be in a room, which is okay, but in the coach it was great because I could observe. And it's amazing what you can see. There was a young girl, probably 21, 22. I'm thinking Amish because of the way she was dressed. The baby who was dressed exactly as she was, that was probably about 13, 14 months old, maybe, not walking yet. And she spoke no English, or whatever the language was they spoke. I couldn't understand it. The males, there were 2 men and two young men and 2 young women. They went up to the observation car most of the time, and she was there with the baby most of the time, and then occasionally she would go up to the observation thing. She made eye contact with no one, but the baby doesn't know that yet. So I'm here, and she's right there across the aisle from me, and the baby's right here, and the baby and I had a whole relationship. She's looking out the window and just holding on to her baby. But the baby and I had a whole world going. And then that caught her attention. And she saw that the baby was relating to somebody, but she kept trying to avert her eyes, not to look at me. And then finally, a very quick glance. That's gold. As an actor, to observe those things, to see those kind of things, it's gold. How is that gold? You're playing a character. who is removed from being present in this moment because of their language, because of their customs, because of whatever, the stipulations, religion. So they're present in their moment. And her moment was out that window. Whatever was going, she looked like a painting with the light behind her. And I, as a writer, actress, wow, I had a whole story going with who this person might be and what she was feeling, and the fact that she was doing what she's been trained and conditioned and maybe totally believes in it. I don't know, and I'll never know. I'll never know, because I wouldn't intrude on that. That is her space. Okay, so observation. Anywhere, everywhere, observe, 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 because you can always feed that into a character. I want to say this before it just hit my brain. If you work as an actor, all actors have a different way of working. Have tremendous respect for how that other actor works. If somebody sits over to themselves, don't invade their space, unless maybe at lunch or something, if that's what you're wanting. Just be respectful of other actors and the way they work. I think I must somehow consciously create a concrete wall that, however, let's say a crew member, I'm getting ready to go into a scene that is highly emotional, supercharged, and a crew member, because they like me, woo, walks by, smile, it's not that bad, and walks on by. It's small talk. What does that do? Man, does that piss me off. That makes me so angry. Do I display it to him? No. What I do is I hold it, and when I'm on that set and I have to have that explosive emotional moment, pow, I'm there. I'm there. And all I did was feed off him. It's a huge world out there, and it's so exciting because you can use it all. All right, as the instrument, as the actor, the complete self you've got to do, the physical, the emotional. And this is, for me, what I'm finding with, and a lot of the actors I teach are relatively young. I've actually had a couple of older actors who have been in it for eon years and then took the class just out of curiosity and have literally come up to me and said, oh my gosh, you renewed the reasons I wanted to be an actor in the first place. So, one of the things I'm very adamant about is learning our senses. This is an emotional truth inside of us. My truth is different for me than yours, Nathan, yours, Adam, but through my senses, I know what emotion I need to get to, and I can tap into it. So you learn, my workshops, you learn how to, there are no electronics. I ask you to not wear any makeup. I ask you to come totally comfortable, shirt out, because we're going to work on honing this instrument. We're going to strip everything away and start to put things that are comfortable to you as a way to work. Things that your senses have been desensitized. There's constant barrage of sound, of visual. You don't have to imagine what it's like. Just turn on the television and you see somebody get their head blown off. Oh, okay. So, I need you to be aware. Go sit in a field. Go sit in a field. Go sit somewhere where it's hard to find today. It's very hard to find. But you can find some place where there's grass, textures. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to sit on sand at the ocean and hear the waves? And what does it feel like on your skin? And what are you seeing? And what are you smelling? The ocean's a great place to become in touch with all your senses. And what does that do to you? What does that sound do to you? What does that smell do to you? For me, the ocean is, I can stand there and I conduct the waves and I feel a sense of everything coming inside of me and washing me out and cleansing me, and now I can go back and I can deal with the taxes and the money and the kids and the, that's what the ocean is for me. I don't live near the ocean anymore, so I have to find other ways, and I have. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it, guys. We're out of time. You just have to come to a workshop.
Ventura, you've just heard what it's like acting. We've got real tears here on stage. It's time for you to come on down to Ventura Adult Continuing Education, learn about acting, but come see what we do down here. There's lots of different occupations. So Ventura, it's time for you to get moving.